Good morning, everyone. I am going to discuss components of a grading system. So, grading system serves as the foundation of educational evaluation, providing a structured framework for assessing students' performance and achievement. So, according to AirAsian and Russell 2008, they cited three components of a grading system. First is the standard of comparison, second aspect of performance, and the third one is weighting different kinds of evidence. So let's first discuss the standard of comparison. It refers to the criteria or benchmark used to evaluate students' performance. So these standards serves as a reference point against which students' work is assessed to determine their level of achievement or proficiency. It can vary depending on the subject, grade level, and educational context. It may be established by educational authorities such as curriculum guidelines or the standards set by the governing body. It may also be defined by the teacher or institution based on specific learning objectives or expectation for students' performance. So standard comparison often include criteria related to knowledge mastery, understanding of concepts, application of skills, and demonstrations of critical thinking. So these criteria may be communicated to students through grading rubrics, which outline the specific expectations for assignments, assessments, or projects. So there are questions that needs to consider. First is, what standard comparison will you use for grading? Will you compare a student's performance to other students' performance, which is the norm reference? So when we talk about the norm reference, we compare the grade of our students with other students. Next one is, will you compare students' performance with a predetermined established standards, which is the criterion reference grading. So your basis here should always be the criteria or the standards, meaning whatever the grade of students, it should be compared to the expectation or expected standards being given by the teacher. So there should be certain criteria that the teacher have set as the basis for their rating of the performance of their students. The last one is, will you compare it to what a student is able to do? So the standard of comparison provides a framework for students and fair evaluation of students' work. So it ensures that grading decisions are based on objective criteria rather than subjective judgment. The second one is the aspect of performance. So this typically refers to the specific skill, competency, or area of knowledge that is being assessed or evaluated. So these aspects of performance can vary depending on subject, level of education, and educational objectives. For example, in mathematics, aspect of performance might include problem-solving skills, mathematical reasoning, understanding of mathematical concepts, and accuracy in calculation. So in language arts course naman or subject, the aspect of performance include reading comprehension, writing proficiency, grammar and punctuation, and critical analysis of the text. So teachers use this aspect of performance to evaluate students' understanding and mastery of the subject matter. Assessment criteria are often aligned with learning objectives and can be broken down into specific skills or knowledge areas to provide students with feedback on their strengths and areas for improvement. So this helps guide instruction and support student learning. But some educators claim only academic performance must be graded, like yung quizzes, test results, assignments, products, and performances to show processes learned. Like, for example, oral reports, projects, and portfolio. And other educators naman asserts that in addition to academic performance, students' motivation, efforts, and participation should also be graded. But one of the problems in grading students' motivation, effort, and participation, however, is the difficulty in determining the reliability of effort and motivations of the students. The third one is the weighting different kinds of evidence. So this refers to how much weight is given to the different aspects of or components of a student's grade. So these are the weight of components from grades 1 to 10. We have here the written work, performance task, and quarterly exam. So written works, these are the essays, long quizzes, written report, and output. In performance tasks naman such as skill demonstration, group presentation, oral work, or research project, lahat ng performance-based, in outcome-based education, yan ang focus ng teacher, yung mga performance-based or performance tasks given for the students. Next is the quarterly assessment. It covers the periodical test, midterms, and final. So, dito napapasok siya yung mga exams, even the summative test. As you can see, so kapag languages, AP or yung Aralin Panlipunan, ESP, the written work here has 30%, performance task has 50%, and quarterly assessment has 20%. And in science and math, written work has 40%, performance task has 40%, quarterly assessment is 20%. Laging 100% yan ang total niya ng lahat. But if it's work-oriented like yung MAPE, EPP, or TLE, you will notice that in performance task, it has a greater value or weight. Like yung performance task ng sa MAPE and EPP, it has 60% value. And 20% lang ang written and quarterly assessment nila. Why? Because these subjects are more work-oriented. So, performance-based talaga sila. That's why performance has a greater weight there, and that's for grades 1 to 10. But in senior high, weight of components is by track naman. So, some of you here are familiar with this. So, iba-iba ang written work, performance task, and quarterly exam. So, you have here the core subject, which is the English, math, and other subjects. Work immersion, and also in TechVoc, or yung technical, vocational, and livelihood. Work-oriented siya. So, mas madami yung percent or yung value na binibigay sa performance task. In academic track naman, so these are the HUMs, humanities, and other track. So, iba-iba ang kanilang percentage in this case sa senior high school. So, overall, the analysis of the tables given shows that the Department of Education puts the heaviest weight on performance tasks from grades 1 to 10 and from grades 11 to 12. From grades 1 to 10, the highest percentage, which is the 60%, is given to music, arts, math, physical education, and health, which is the MAPE, and edukasyong pantahanan at pangkabuhayan. So, in senior high school naman, the highest percentage is 60%, understandably, is for the specialization subjects for the TechVoc, sports, and arts and design tracks. So, obviously, MAPE, EPP, and the specialization subjects in TechVoc, sports, and arts and design tracks are dominantly skills subjects. So, ibig sabihin, mas more on performance sila. Mas binibigyan sila ng mas malaking percentage sa performance task. That's all. Thank you.